10 seconds.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another View from the Dead Box. We are on episode 78.
That's probably kind of close, actually.
I'm just guessing. I don't even look.
Yeah, I don't know. I when we first started, I was doing episode numbers, and then I stopped because I forgot once, and I was like, fuck the numbers. Like, it doesn't really matter.
Episode 96. We are 2 weeks away now from Cup, and layout drops this week. We'll have the field up. Speaking of the field, our field is coming along.
It's quite nice.
It is. Yes, it is. It is getting up there with possibly one of the best or the best field in Georgia for speedball.
Yeah, I'm biased, but I would definitely, it's up there. Like, yeah. I would say, at least in Georgia, I like Big Indian as a second to us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
Because of how, like, you got the two fields set up. You can
his pitting and air stations are great.
Yes, and you can literally see, like, for players, it's a good setup. Spectators wise, it might not be the best. You know what I mean for watching, but for everybody playing, which, I mean, there's more players than spectators at most of these events, so that works out well. I like that field. I would say we're definitely up there with Big Indian. I don't know. I mean, some of the other fields might have better, like I said, for spectators, but I don't really know who else that would be. Like the Augusta field, maybe, but they're. I don't know. What other good fields are there in Georgia?
All right, so when I think of a best field, I think of three things, right? I think of like talent at the field, like that you're gonna go somewhere. I don't want like some place might have the best field in Georgia or Florida or Carolina, wherever. But if they don't have any teams that are playing there or any like, D3, D4 capable people, like you can go and scrimmage a team there. You know what I mean? That's one thing I knock them for. You know what I mean? And that's not really a knock on the field, but as a player, that doesn't want to make. I don't want to travel this field if there's nobody there playing.
Yeah, no,
second, I always rate them on access to the field, like staging. Like I know our staging has been shit, like for the last year and a half, but finally our field is almost like I'd say 90% complete. Now we got staging areas up on the field. We have overlook of the field being built like, as we speak. So we have air stations in the pits now that are at the field. So everything is like literally coming along. So it's access to the field and like staging. That's number 2. 3, and this could be arguably 2, is paint.
Yeah.
And we suffered from paint when we were using that ProShar shit. It was so sneaky fragile. And then they were like sending us regular paint during the winter and then winter paint during the summer. It was just all over the fucking place. But now I think we're going back and forth from the HK again. And I don't know what you shot this weekend.
I shot ProShar, but what I this isn't even a knock on ProShar. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't like to knock anybody, but I feel like if I get the ProShar and I let it sit like an extra week and a half, it shoots so much better. Like
that's so weird.
It's so crazy to me, and I've noticed that's what I told the owner yesterday. Like I shot 3-4 bags, like 3.5 bags. I gave my little half bag at the end of the day to Dylan, and it was that was older paint. Like I said, it was from 3 weeks ago, really. So it's a little longer than I normally let it go, but it shot straight. It was fine. It wasn't super fragile or super bouncy. Like it was about what I would expect for practice paint. You know what I mean? It wasn't, I wouldn't shoot that at a tournament, but for practice, I was like, that's fine with it. I got a decent shot of breaking on people. And I mean, I'm going to get a bounce here and there too. So to me, it was what it was. So,
so those are the 3 things I typically rate, people on. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really push for a field to have. Really paint, availability, access to staging areas, and then the quality of field actually probably needs to be up there. Now that I think about it, I'm definitely an idiot for leaving that out. Quality of field is probably 1. I don't know why I put teams at number 1.
I mean,
take that back. Quality of field is 1. Quality of field.
I understand where you're coming from, though.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely on the list. Like if I had to put four
Yeah.
things, I'm gonna take that back. Four things: one, quality of field and location;
Okay.
two, paint at field; three, staging, the whole staging setup, access to the field, staging, air stations now; and four being
The
talent
talent.
level at
Yep.
field. Yeah. So I don't know why that sort of one. I think the first thing
Yeah.
that popped in my head for some reason.
You flipped your numbers.
Yeah. So completely flipped them all around. So disregard everything I said in the beginning. So definitely I don't want to go somewhere and play on fucking concrete dirt,
Yeah.
aka I don't know why I can't think of the damn name. It's dead now.
Oh, LCP.
No,
Uh,
Atlantis Field,
oh, Nitro.
Nitro.
Yeah.
Like it was like that hard
Yep.
clay. So you like all your shit only lasts like 2 or 3 weekends and it's done.
Hated it.
Kind of sucks. But they had
That's
everything else. The quality of field was always just fucking
yeah.
terrible. I don't want to go somewhere I have like roots and potholes and like stumps and fuck, you know what I mean? I don't want to go
Yeah.
somewhere I have that. So I always gave Bayside, which RIP, boom, they're dead
I
too.
know.
Probably one of the best grass fields I've ever played on.
I would agree.
Augusta being probably the two. Augusta was always really good for that. We always had a problem with paint at Augusta, and stuff with the owner was always sometimes kind of wonky.
Yeah.
Great guy, but like
It was just like
organization,
going through bad times, like, and it was always
yeah,
us with hitting the
I
bad
think he was
times.
hiring, like firing and hiring help when we were setting up like a 4 or 5 team scrimmage. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not the time to do this shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, so quality of field should be up there, but yeah, I think
Nah,
those are the four things. But I'm kind of glad that it has taken us a lot longer than we were supposed to be.
yeah.
But that's not on us. We held up our end of the bargain, but our fielder now is definitely pulling his up and he's dumping some money into the field.
Yeah.
This I know he's working on. He's been calling me today, and we talked for a long time yesterday about other things to do to the field this week. So he is definitely busting his ass in the field. I think he's finally starting to see revenue come back from speedball.
Yeah.
So I think he's starting to invest money back into speedball, which is good. And I know for all you rec ball guys that listen to this, we have plans to build a shipment from Call of Duty field, Call of Duty shipment field. We're gonna build that, and we have a I know we have a Mounds field coming. Not sure the date on that, but I know we're also building a hyperball field, a corrugated pipe field. So I know for a fact that we're going corrugated pipe and container field for shipment. I don't know the dates on those, but I know we have the location and they've already cleared all of the land out behind the speedball. They have 2 giant tractors back there, literally working 24/7. So they're definitely moving full force with that. So
Yeah. It's gonna be
good to
sweet
see.
setup,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like all the way around, because
And it's
I'm down
70,
for
I
the
was talking
hyperball.
yesterday. It's 70 acres is how much he has.
Yeah, he's got all the space.
Yes.
I'm really pumped for the hyperball. Like, especially, obviously, it probably won't be done during this offseason. It'll probably be done right when our season picks back up, but it'll still be something at the end of its day when everyone's like played all day long. You've got, a couple pods here and there, and everyone can go run some hyperball, because that's, I don't know, it's fun. People don't get to do that as much anymore.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to. So we're going to rip up the red blue field, which is the one right next to us on the nice grass field. We're going to rip that up, and he's talking about putting the container field there. I don't feel like that's the field for the container field. I think I'm pushing him to put the hyperball field there so guys can run, dive, and slide on the grass and stuff. Like that's definitely the way to be at on the hyperball field. And when he's talking about the fields playing sideways into each other, that you could play the hyperball field starts to can jump into attack into the castle. So
Yeah,
um,
that's a good way to do it too, because then you can kind of open up all your fields.
that's what he's talking about doing. Yeah. So
I like it. Well, I have a little bit of a different topic for us after we got all that out. That was a good little intro there, sir. We're not as good at this as, like, we have Jamie and Stro. They're better at this. I'm looking at the brackets for Cup.
Yeah.
So the pro brackets, obviously. I'm going to list you off like the first bracket, second, third. There's 4 brackets. And I'm going to see what bracket you think is the most difficult.
Okay.
I have read these, obviously, and I have one I think is leaps and bounds more difficult than other one. Like, one of the teams in here is not going to Sunday. Like, I would bet everything I own that this team will not leave this bracket. But so the first bracket is Impact, Damage, Seattle Thunder, NRG Elite, and Columbus Level. Okay.
Okay.
I don't think that's a crazy difficult bracket, in my opinion.
It's not, but 3 of those teams are all on the same skill level, so it's going to
Yes.
be a fighter's bracket.
Yes, it's going to be
Especially
tough.
the showing of NRG Elite last event and Columbus Level last event.
Yes.
That's gonna be a fighter's bracket for sure.
Yeah, I agree. The second
That
bracket
should probably steamroll just about everybody in that bracket.
Yeah, I would agree, but it's one of those that I think anybody could come out of.
Yeah.
Because of what you said, like NRG and Columbus Level have showed, hey, we can hang. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the second bracket is Infamous, the Russians, Revo, Trade My Gun Outlaws, and Sacramento DMG. That to me,
That's
like
kind of a weak
Infamous
bracket.
and Russians, like stand out above everybody else.
And
you know what I
Russians
mean?
haven't been super well this
Yes.
season, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
So
no, they
that's kind of
haven't.
that's the weaker of the bracket so far.
Yeah, and then after that is Dynasty, Aftermath, AC Diesel, Ironman, and AC Dallas. That
That's
to me again is
pretty tough bracket.
oh, you think it's a really tough one? I think just the top two teams are tough. I think everybody else
Well,
is
again, it's going to be like those bottom 3 teams are all about equal.
okay. That's fair. This bracket I think could be a very rough one. For one team.
Okay.
Heat, X Factor, New York Extreme, Uprising, and the Kings.
Yikes, GG Kings.
The Kings.
Kings might win a point.
They might win a point. That I read that and I was like, good lord, because like obviously Heat's
But
great.
when you're the worst team in the division, you
Yeah.
like you seal your fate.
Yep. But I was like obviously Heat is a great team. X Factor's a great team. Like X Factor hasn't had the best, hasn't had a season up to their standards. I would say this season.
And Revo's last event looked really good.
Yeah. And then like NYX, they always kind of like to me. They're like I feel like they're like they run out of gas. Like they play like good enough to make it a Sunday, and then like Sunday they fizzle out.
Yeah.
And then I kind of feel the same way with Uprising. Like I feel like they've had like okay event.
Uprising's kind of ass.
I'm trying to see. Let me see something here. What was
Seattle
there?
Thunder's been really good, except this last event.
That's what I've swapped around. I apologize.
Yeah, Uprising's fucking dog water.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about that. Now you think the Dynasty bracket's the toughest bracket?
No, I still think this one is.
Really? Even with fucking Kings and Uprising in there?
Well, no, I think it's the toughest for the Kings is what I meant. Like the Kings are not leaving that bracket. That's what I like.
Hold on. Well, what's the most competitive bracket?
Yeah, absolutely. The Dynasty Aftermath, Diesel, Ironman, and Dallas bracket. Because even the Ironman, in my opinion, like maybe not this year, they have not placed very good. But I feel like it's one of those things. It's Cup. Like they're a good team and they have a name behind them. They could go, all right, well, we're putting everything we got out here right now to show we can have, you know what I mean? And then like Dallas and Diesel, I don't really think either one should be pro teams, but that's besides me. That's just my shitty opinion, but definitely Dallas, they will not. I don't know. Do you know how many teams they relegate? Is it 2?
2, I think. I think 2 go down, 2 go up.
Yeah, I think. I definitely would say that. Yeah.
So ML King should probably Uprising, I'd imagine.
Well, they're Uprising won't. They're your bottom. They would have to do very bad, like very bad. They are in 16th out of 20.
I mean,
and they have 162 points. Like, okay, so AC Dallas has 90 points. Kings is 116. DMG is 132. Columbus Level 155. Then Uprising at 162. So Uprising would have to do very, very poor to go. I would say you look at those bottom 3 just because it's 90, 116, and 132. So DMG, Kings, and Dallas. And one of those, 2 of those 3 go. And I think it's going to be the Kings and DMG. And I think Dallas will squeak through, even though they are technically below them in points. I don't know. I just don't see that it's possible. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong, but who do you think?
Things are finally gone. Like, thank God.
Yeah. Who do you think would win? Who do you, out of all those teams listed, without the brackets, obviously, what pro team do you think has the best chance of winning on Sunday?
At number 1?
At number 1, like who would you think is going to pull it out?
I don't know. Dynasty, this last event really put it together well.
Yeah.
X Factor's played amazing all season. Impact kind of got balled up a little bit early,
Yep.
and I'm not really sure what happened to Heat because Heat has the roster. Heat's
He
roster
he
is
always has a good roster,
but
and it's crazy.
it's funny because Dynasty's roster is not really stacked,
Yeah.
and they just played really. Maybe it was the field last event, but
I guess I should have told you this before we went to this. So Impact is in first, then Infamous,
Yeah.
Dynasty, then Heat. And it's 490, 480, 477, and 466. And then X Factor is actually probably, in my opinion, out of the running at 428.
yeah,
They're in fifth place. So they wouldn't win. They could win the event, but they wouldn't win the series, obviously. I don't, unless Impact did very poorly, I would have to think, which is possible. But, and Impact has a first, a second, and then a 10th. So they've had a shitty event. Infamous has had a second and eighth and a third. So, I mean, they've kind of had a shittier event. And then Dynasty's had a real shitty event, a 10th, a third, then a first. And then Heat has had an 11th, a first, and a fifth. So it's kind of all over the place who would win the series. I think Infamous has a very good opportunity to win this event.
yeah.
I feel like they also fizzle out. Like they get to the finals or right before the finals and they're just gassed. Like it's just, I don't know if they don't have the depth some of these other
some
teams
of their
do.
best players are also their oldest players.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I would say I don't know any of the semi-pro teams as much. There's New Orleans Hurricanes, which is all Payne's.
Yeah, I think both the Hurricanes are up
and
there.
then
Right?
the other, the old Hurricanes is in second, and then Blast Camp's in third, and Newbies in fourth.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Blast Camp's probably gonna win it all, and then, or what? Sorry, Blast Camp's gonna win.
If they win Cup, they could very well win the series. They have 200, and the top four are very tight. So fourth place Newbies, they have 255 points. Third place Blast Camp has 256 points, and New England Hurricanes has 257 points. So those three are very tight, which that'll be fun. And then the New Orleans Hurricanes are at 276, so they're really not that much ahead. Literally 20 points. So
yeah, I think Blast Camp will probably take Cup.
Yeah,
especially coming off that Astra win.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. And actually, the fifth place team, Annapolis A team, they're at 242. So they're really not that far behind either.
Who won the Chicago from them?
Blast Camp won Chicago.
Yeah, see.
And then New Orleans Hurricanes took second.
Yeah, Blast Camp's kind of locked. I didn't know who won Chicago, but I know they just came off. They just won Astra.
Yeah.
So, and they were competing in open against the pro teams. It tells you anything.
The worst event for Blast Camp was the Florida event. They took 13th. Yeah, the New Orleans Hurricanes have been relatively consistent, fourth, and second.
How did Blast Camp do all season?
13th, second, first.
Yeah.
So, which, I mean, if they really just have to beat the Hurricane, like the New Orleans Hurricanes. That's so confusing to me because the fucking one word difference. Yeah, and that Wolfpack is kind of a little too far out of it. They're at 226 points on the season.
Yeah.
So they're probably just a hair out of it unless someone plays like balls. What are you guys at in D3?
Oh, you're gonna laugh.
I'm scrolling here. Hold on, let me see. Did I skip over D3? I think I skipped over D3. I know I'm looking at it right here. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Why go?
Yeah, we literally don't have to play Cup and we still win the series.
So people who aren't looking at my screen, obviously, I'm sure everybody who's listening to this knows Wes plays with Georgia Extreme in the regular season, and then the national events he plays with Veteran Militia. And they are in first place for D3 5-man with 467 points. And the second place team is TBD Somos Labas. I'm sure I said that wrong, at 190. So, yeah, y'all do whatever the fuck y'all want. And y'all have a fourth place, a third place, a first, and then the Chicago.
Yeah.
So.
It's easy to win when you win a whole bunch of or easy to take first in the series when you just always podium.
It's like taking people's fucking candy at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all can literally go dick around. There's no sweat.
All the cockers.
Have you talked to Chris about that?
Oh,
That would be
be
fucking
mad.
gold. Oh yeah, he would not be on board. He'd be like, "No, we're gonna beat the fucking shit out of every team we play."
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. That was really my only little topic. I didn't know. I'm sure you always can pull something out of your ass, so I was kind of relying on you. What are you doing? Okay, so you guys aren't looking at him right on camera. I'm sure some of y'all watch. I know Hallie watches these. Is that a chip clip on your eyebrow?
That is a chip clip.
I wasn't sure if it was a big clothespin at first. God, you gonna play like that? Is
Yeah.
that gonna be y'all's like handicap for
That
cup?
I might need that. That might make it almost fair.
You were a little piece of shit yesterday when I said, "Hey, can you hop in 1 point for me? Just play home." And then you go, "Yeah, but it'd be really unfair." I'm like, "Just sit at home, Wes. Just shoot off the break and
I
just
can't.
chill out." I know you can't because you got put in one situation where I watched you play one, and it wasn't even the one I wanted you to do. It was another game. You jumped in and you were in what, a 200 or 300, and then you shot like 3 people, and I'm like, "Wes, I said just play home. Just shoot off the break and call things out so I can see what everybody else is doing." And then you came down. Y'all ended up winning. Y'all were down on bodies
Had
when
two
you
on
did
one,
it, but
yeah.
yeah. But I was like, "What the fuck?"
Well, it was like I shot at home, like shot a little bit, and then like Carson went to the 100, and I look over, I'm like, ooh, free run to the 200. So I went from home to the 200. I was like, hey Carson, I'm in front of you now. You're playing the 2 now. He's like, oh, okay.
At least Carson talked to you. I called Carson's name 45 fucking times when
Really?
it was a 2-on-1 against me, like me and him and your wife.
Yeah.
And I had no idea he was with me until like I didn't hear him because he shot 2 or 3 people from where he was
Yeah.
at. And I didn't hear him call any of those kills. I didn't hear him being alive. And then all of a sudden I was like shooting a gap like between like the danger. So
Yeah.
because I was like, if Carson's over here, like the guy's gonna come stick him. So I was just like shooting that gap. Then all of a sudden I saw Carson run up and I'm like, well, fuck. I was like, I guess that guy's not there anymore. I'm gonna spread the field at this point, and maybe if I get hit in transition from across the field, hopefully Carson can pick them up, and then it'll be like a 1-on-1 or whatever. But
Yeah.
he had done fucking shot everybody. I was like, okay, well, that fucking worked. That's funny.
It's I don't think he was talking to me much. I'm really just yelling at him. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope he's hearing me, because we were down on bodies and I like was trying to get down the field as fast as I could. And they ran our snake. So I'm just literally shooting cross body, just like literally just like trying to cut the guy off. And I'm like, hey, blah, 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 talking to him. And I keep like I don't really play with him too much. So I kind of like shoot my thing. I'm like look over my shoulder, making he's doing what he's doing. I'm like,
Yeah.
shoot, look back, okay. Shoot, look back, okay. I'm like, all right, hey man, just letting you know, like, we got it, it's just us, just
hanging
letting you know
out.
what's going on. And I see him walk off. I'm like, oh, okay.
Fuck,
So,
it's
yeah.
just me.
Yeah.
That's funny. I can't believe you missed me push that fucking home bunker out of the ground, and the dude shot me in the chest as soon as I pushed the bunker. Like I was getting ready to push off of it. I don't think
Yeah.
the stake was like fully staked down. Like I think it was like had heated up.
Or
in the
you
day.
just pushed it a lot harder than you
I mean,
thought.
I might have been pushing it a lot harder than I thought too, because I was playing tight because they had a dude in the Viper shooting at me. And I was kind of pushing on like the D side of the bunker. And when I pushed it, like I was pushing towards the snake side, like from the D side. And it went that way. And I think it was Tucker shooting at me. And like I hear it hitting the bunker, and all of a sudden my whole bunker just went poof, like 2.5, 3 foot. And I went wah, 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 3 times in the chest. And I was like, motherfucker, like that was not expecting to get shot dead middle in my chest when I'm behind a fucking, like solidly behind a bunker. It was just like, it was like someone like tied a rope in my bunker and just yeeted it a couple feet. And I was like, well, that fucking sucked. Like I've never died that way before.
We'll have to figure out the talking in your team, because
I just couldn't hear anything, and I'm like trying to relay.
But yeah, I think you're gonna have Frank. You're gonna have Frank too.
I know. And then I got young Hayden, who Hayden doesn't talk much, and if I have Carson, that's not talking much, and it's gonna be like me, Jonathan, and Kevin.
That's why I asked you earlier about if you want me to switch Frank over with Payne, because I know Payne will talk.
Oh, I know he will too. He'll get pissed if everybody's not fucking talking.
Yeah, he has no problem talking.
So I'll just have to get more mad at everybody for not talking and be like, y'all have got to. If you say something, whether it's right or wrong, just fucking say something.
Yep.
If someone tells you the wrong count and you repeat it, that's on them. Like.
Yep.
So did you have anything, sir? I didn't have much today. It was it's that weird time. Like we don't have a cup layout to talk about.
Yeah.
Where like we practiced for cup, but it was more, you know what I mean? Just kind of play with your people who was there. It was kind of a light cup day.
I think we have Kings coming down this weekend, and then possibly Kings coming down next weekend, and KMA coming down next weekend.
Cool.
So whatever weekend this is, the 30th, 29th, 30th.
Yeah.
We have the Kings coming down them. And then I believe the Kings are going to try to come down on the 7th, along with KMA on the 7th as well. So
cool.
That should be pretty good.
Are the Kings and KMA playing cup?
Yeah, I know the Kings are.
Okay.
I don't know about KMA. I can text Justin and find out. But
are they all playing? Or are the Kings playing X ball or 5M?
Yeah, D4 X ball.
D4 X ball. Okay. I was curious.
That's what he was trying to get me to play with him for, and I was kind of like giving him some shit.
I'm telling you, D4 X balls. That's a tough division. You know what I mean? Just because there's so many teams.
Oh, so it is when you draw the number 1 and number 2 team.
Well, that too. That seems to be the story of many a teams me and you have played on over the last fucking 5 years.
And I don't know how we didn't move on. Find out the 2 teams we played in our bracket are playing for first and second World Cup. Yeah. I'm like, well, I guess that makes more sense now.
Yeah. And we put decent numbers up against them and then play like ass against shitty teams. It's like, seriously, guys, like again? But
makes sense.
If you don't have anything, we'll leave this with a short one, a little 25, 30-minute. But unless you had a super sick topic you had in your head. All right, well, I will take us out of here then. Thanks for listening, watching. Somebody did buy merch last week. I had a little bit of nice little surprise sitting in there when I checked it after this podcast. I was like, oh. And then I'm like, I mean, it's probably someone I know, but thanks for the money, whoever sent it. It's nice. It helps pay for the podcast. So makes me not have to spend my cheap ass spend $20 a month on this. So keep buying the shit. Wes is chuckling. But yeah, we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Later.